With me, Jerry. Hey, Jer.
Hey guys.
And let me just press live here on my Instagram. Even though they can't see you, whatever, I'm gonna film it. And today I wanted to I wanted to ask Jerry what about my dating profile drew him in. And so this is why we have Jerry taking some time out of his day. He is a busy dentist here in Toronto, to come on and share with you guys what drew him in, what made my profile stand out from the crowd. Because I teach this stuff now, and so it allows you to just have an insight into what draws a high quality man into a dating profile, and what you can write, and what the pictures and all of that. So we'll get started, but 1 second. Instagram is here. Okay, that's okay. So if you're watching live, just write live, and tell me where you're not calling in from. My team told me where you're watching from. Whatever. I always say it wrong. So Jerry, to not waste your time, how are you?
I'm good. Really good.
um, it's always so fun to see you like in a work setting. Okay, so share freely. Like, what are the three things that stood out the most, and then maybe I'll ask you some questions and go a little deeper into each
Yeah.
one.
Well, first of all, I knew what I wanted. I was looking not for a hookup, not for a quick date. I was looking for a partner to have a long-term relationship with. So, having said that, it was easy for me to sort of pick out what was important to me. And if we think about three things on a dating profile, there's obviously the photos, right? There's what the person has to say, and then the connecting, the messaging back and forth. So, which may be a little different than the topic, but I'm going to talk about that too in my experience with you, honey. So first of all, your pictures showed a happy person, right? And for me, connecting with a happy person just makes life so easy for me, and I get to make a happy person happier. So the sparkle in your eye, and when in your photos showed this sort of light in your eyes, and just there was a picture of you eating a lobster somewhere in out east, I think in Halifax, and you just did that. It showed sort of zest and fun and joy, and of course, until you get to meet the person, you don't know for sure, of course, but that just completely attracted me to you. So I was in from that moment, and that was really exciting for me. And then what you wrote, there were some really cute things, but a couple of things what you wrote, you talked about how certain situations made you feel, right? And, it would feel, I think you said something, I tried to find the profile, but it's somewhere. Uh, you said something about how great it would feel to have dinner with friends and a glass of wine, and so you didn't tell me what you like necessarily, but in, a really cool way, I got an idea of what things made you feel great. And that was interesting for me and a little different. Um, Also, when you had like 30 icons of things you like to do, which I kind of thought was cute because, right, I mean, who likes so many 30 things? So I asked you what your top three, and so there wasn't a whole list of things, but you did it in a cool way with icons. So you would have icon of a bicycle, a person skiing, a person hiking, a person, I don't know, surfing, I think. There was a whole bunch of them. And so I asked you, hey, what are your top three? And you answered that. So those are kind of between the messaging and the photos. I really got a warm, really connected feeling to you. And then we started messaging back and forth. I had, experience with, at the time I was, in looking for the right person for me, and went on dates with several different women. And one thing that really turned me off was, needing to follow some rules of when we could meet. You know, so there were all rules. I can't meet with you until we text for 7 days, or and once we text for 7 days, then we have to have a phone call. And then once we have a phone call, we have, for me, I wanted someone more spontaneous that had the confidence to go out, and it didn't have to be a crazy date. It could be we had a coffee, we spoke for an hour, it was really connecting, and we both knew we wanted to speak more. So that was really enrolling for me. Really wanted me to, so we got to the let's go and meet really quickly. So yeah, those were three like amazing things that just like wow, I was like, okay, I'm excited to have this date. And of course, I showed up and there you were with that. I remember on our date, the sparkle that I saw in the photos came to reality when we had our conversations. And it was real. It wasn't made up and you basically looked like your photos. I had other experiences where you see these photos and then you meet and like, huh? So that was really cool too. So yeah, those are some things that were great.
I love that. I love that. And that's going to give a lot of insight for the ladies watching because, men have certain, I mean, it's interesting because you said photos first and women get so insulted by this. I want to invite you to not be insulted if you're watching. Don't be insulted by men looking for the physical, right? Your beauty that they perceive as your beauty. You don't have to be a certain specific beautiful, but just be your own beautiful and be real. And that's going to draw in the right man. And yes, they're going to look at the pictures first. I mean, we do too, but men especially are visual, and I think that gets to be
Yeah,
okay.
can I comment on that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously externally you're gorgeous. I mean, you just are, and I love that. But it's what I was talking about was much deeper than that. So,
Yes.
it really was about what I saw through your eyes, and I just saw a light and a happy person, a joyful person. It really didn't have to do with your nose, your blonde hair, your this, your figure. I mean, that's, on first glance, no question, that's something that I notice and take note of. But more so was how you showed up just sparkly, right? And alive, right? So that was what really
Right.
attracted you
And
to me.
awesome. And so you said that my profile said how I would like to feel. And of course, I did that deliberately and I teach this to my ladies. But what did that do for you? Like, why was that, if you can put words into it, like, why was that specifically a draw for you?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I probably didn't know, but I mean, that was 4 years ago. And I mean, through you and just through other things, I'm learning more and more about the polarity between men and women. And that's really a feminine thing, right? And I think as a man, that just, subconsciously attracted me to you. That
Yeah.
I was like connecting to someone, on the feminine side of the thing, of the spectrum. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And, I don't necessarily speak like that as a man, but somehow it connected me to you.
And okay, in terms of messaging back and forth, because I get questions all the time, like, "Oh, what do I say? How do I say it? Like, what is off-putting for you? And what is inviting for you in general?"
I mean, off-putting would be like I want to get face to face. That's just me. Okay.
Masculine
You know,
man, guys, masculine man. This is the point, right? Don't get insulted when a man wants to get offline and meet you. It doesn't mean he wants to get into your pants only. Like, it's okay, right? It's okay. You get to meet him in a safe place and he wants to take it offline. He wants to move it forward. This is a masculine trait, so allow that. Okay, keep going.
yeah. So I want to get face to face. And sorry, repeat your question
I
for.
mean, you do wanna get into my pants, but that's beside the point. Let's get frisky. My question was, what's off-putting with messaging at first, and what's good? Like, what draws you in? Is
Yeah.
it
So off-putting is like, trying to find out everything about me online,
right?
right? Because first of all, for me, communication, there's so much more face to face in person. And I just want to get there. So, too many questions about, anything other than, you know, basics would be off-putting to me. So, we had some banter back and forth on what you wrote in your profile, and a couple of things back and forth that way. And once we got through that, it was like, hey, let's meet, right? And all the rest, finding out about each other, we can do face to face.
Yeah.
So I guess just delving deep in questions would be something that I wouldn't like, right? A few, yeah, for sure. It asks what you need to ask to feel comfortable, and then also really what I said about all these rules that you may or may not have to put a barrier between the next step, right?
Right.
So to me, like, it's an hour of my time. Like, I would know that I can have an amazing time with myself, let alone with getting to meet a new person, whoever they are, good or bad. Like, how bad could an hour with a new person be? So I'd like to be with someone who has that same philosophy. Let's get together and see what's going on, what's what. So, again, putting barriers into meeting. Again, a lot of women that my experience was, we can't meet until we have a phone call. We can't have, we can't meet here, or it's got to be a cup of coffee, or it's got to be this, or it's got to be that. So that would be a negative for me. It just, for me, it shows someone who, for whatever reason, I mean, barriers that they're putting up probably has to do with previous experiences, and I get that, and I just want someone who's open.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I had so many things going on about that. But what was that now? What were Oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. You said so many things there, oh,
I
the
mean,
ask
connecting with someone who's open,
yeah,
and
but
I
also
got
ask
that from you.
questions. So this is my last question for you. I know you have to run off, so thank you for your time. But so why is it off-putting when a woman peppers you with questions?
Um, I think that initially, when we haven't even met, like, what are all the questions about? Like, what are their purpose? Again, it's just, I can't put my finger on it. I know that,
So this is an energetic thing, and I talk about this all the time, and it's because it's penetrating, and men are supposed to be the penetrator. So the woman gets to be open and be in the experience and surrendered, and the man is the leader. So the man gets to ask questions, and by you answering your questions, the man will share about that area of his life naturally when he's ready. And so penetrating with questions is very, very off-putting for a man. Would you say that that's kind of it?
yeah, that I think that makes sense. Totally.
So that's how I say it to the women, because that's how, that's easy to understand.
Yeah, and
Um,
like some questions for sure. It just, many, or like you say, peppering. Like, I want to, I guess as a guy, I kind of want to lead the show a bit too,
right. Bingo.
right? Because
Bingo.
if I'm being interrogated, it's like a little bit off-putting.
Yeah. Yeah, and same with all those rules. The
Yeah,
rules the rules are just a control mechanism. I mean, you're meeting a guy in a coffee shop. He doesn't know where you parked. He doesn't know where you live. Just go meet a nice human being and have a coffee with them.
yeah, and you know what? The problem with the media today is we only talk about the bad things.
Uh,
99.9% of whoever you're going to meet is going to be totally safe and comfortable. They may not be the right person, they may be weird, they may be this, but you're not in danger, right? I
yeah.
mean, yeah, bad shit happens, but it's rare. It's really rare. So go out and enjoy yourself.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
Any last thing to add that I haven't asked you that you want to share?
I think, just get out there, have fun. Like I have a close friend of mine. It was, amazing to hear him say that even on a first date, he would take a woman to a concert or he was going to go out and have fun and he would bring along a date with him. So be open, enjoy the experience. It's not going to be bad. It can only be neutral or good. So I think just get out there and enjoy, and you will meet the person that is right for you. So yeah, exciting. Thanks for having me here, sweetie. I love
Uh,
you.
you were so great. Mwah. Love you. See you later today. Thanks for your time, honey.
Bye, honey. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. And bye, everyone. I'm just going to go as well. You can just click out. Hang on. I just clicked him out. I'm going to go as well because you probably are not interested in me or more interested in Jerry. So I will leave that there. I love you guys. Comment below. Let me know what you thought. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.